Hey everybody, welcome to your source for Rocket League Esports news. We've got the North America Spring Series this weekend, roster changes and formats that are inducing a little bit of drama into the scene, and some more info coming up on the Brawl tomorrow for ESPN. Let's get straight into it. With the current pandemic that's been going on, a lot of rosters have been losing their organizations, one of those primarily being Reciprocity, but luckily for the Rec Boys, Chad Larson, their owner-founder, has found a new home for both the Rainbow Six and Rocket League rosters, and it will be a joint partnership. So that means that this team will be signing both Rainbow Six and Rocket League. That it looks like it's going to be an org by the name of Team Genji. The way this was found out was due to someone from the Rainbow Six community apparently data mining and finding that information, which means that if it applies to Rainbow Six, then it has to apply to Rocket League according to the post from Chad Larson. Also, after dropping their roster, Ghost Gaming became Vanguard. But within the week or so, it looks like Ghost has announced that they are back due to finding strategic investors with, quote, expertise in esports, traditional sports, media, and entertainment. Glad to see that Ghost, pretty well-respected org, is still coming back and surviving, and also getting support from people like Shonduras. Shout out to Shonduras of Space Station. True homie showing support across the board. And that's what you want to see, orgs supporting each other in these times where people are struggling. Because it is officially the offseason, we are starting to see some major roster changes. One of the more notable ones is Rogue, after having some struggling seasons, has officially announced that they are replacing Wonder with Turinturo of Charlotte Phoenix. I ended up making a video that was posted yesterday about how Turinturo may or may not make this team better, and how his dynamic with Kronovi and First Killer may play out. Some of the things, the questions, concerns, ideas, all that kind of fun stuff. Recommend checking out. It's about a 10-minute video that goes over Turinturo's addition to Rogue and how that may or may not play out. There's a couple things as well that got announced after I made that video, like the fact that they are looking for a coach and that they have a mental coach. So there is some things that aren't exactly up to date, but the comments will keep you all up to date. Recommend checking that out as well. Because Turinturo is no longer on Charlotte Phoenix, that means they had to find a replacement, and they ended up finding Wonder Mike. If you guys don't know him, rank S player, pretty high level, has played in the Rival Series previously, and this is actually pretty interesting going into the Spring Series. In previous weeks, we mentioned how Rold is being let go, and his replacement is going to be Memory from Flight, as a former team that just got relegated. We get to see this a little bit, and I end up covering some of the open qualifiers for the Spring Series. We actually got to see United play against Rogue on my stream. Highly recommend, if you guys didn't get to watch that, go back and check the VOD. There's some pretty exciting things and developments for both United as well as Rogue. Last weekend we had the South America Spring Series, but this weekend is North America. This one has a couple facets to it. Number one being we finally have our 8 final teams, and I'll get to that in just a bit. But more importantly, this one is for $125,000 in comparison to Sam, which was only $50K. So a lot more on the line here. Other than that, we've got some new faces showing up. The newest one being Jamal Jabari. Some players that you guys may not recognize. They had a pretty, how would you describe Vanguard-esque playstyle, was just go, 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 attack all the time. And it overwhelmed some teams enough to the point where they were able to reverse sweep Rogue and get into the qualifiers. So congrats to them. The top 4 are your 4 teams. If you guys still don't know Vanguard, that is former Ghost. These are your top 4 teams from regionals. And then these are the teams that made it through open qualifiers. 72 pin connector should be one that's somewhat familiar, as it does have Jacob, Democat, and Lion Blaze on it. Obviously, you guys know PK, they qualified, and Charlotte Phoenix now with Wonder Mike. So after Turinturo goes to Rogue, and Rogue starts to look really good, ironically, Turinturo's old team is the one that qualifies. So congrats to Karma and Shadow and Wonder Mike. Wonder Mike played a huge role in that, and I can't harp on that enough. Looking at the bracket, probably the most exciting match, number 1, is Energy versus 72 pin connector, and I only say that because Jacob is going to be playing against Garrett. We ended up filling out a bracket over on my stream today, and the difficulty of these is you're trying to do the full bracket. Even though this is a 2-day event, it is going to come down to who is playing the best and feeling the best on that day, so a little bit more difficult, but overall pretty confident in G2 taking the victory. Energy hasn't been too convincing, but I think it's going to be very difficult for the teams like Pin Connector, Jamal Jabari, and even Charlotte Phoenix to go up against some of these top teams. I think there's definitely a gap, but pretty much my stream just ripped me apart on how I write SSG and how they started calling it 556 and 55G, and you guys are toxic. And last but not least, obviously there's some new things coming up. If you guys haven't noticed, More and more information about the Brawl is starting to develop as we get closer to the weeks, and a lot of those things are actually going to be answered on ESPN Esports' Twitch page tomorrow with myself and Arda, their host. If you guys don't know the details or what it is, you can just follow my social media. All those links are down in the description below, but I'll be tweeting out an easy way to come and find it. But we're going to be discussing the Brawl, the formats, the reasons behind it, why we're doing the Invitational, all that kind of fun stuff, as well as diving deep and kind of doing a little bit of a pre-show for the spring series that's coming up this weekend, which will also be aired on ESPN2 on Sunday for the grand finals. There will also be an announcement for a team tomorrow, so a little bit of a spoiler on that. That should be happening as you guys are kind of watching this video, and then there will be another team announcing on Sunday, so keep your eyes out for that. But with that said, that is going to wrap it for this week of Rocket League Esports News. If you guys have any questions, comments, concerns, as always, drop them down in the comments below, and I will do my best to answer the questions that I can. And if you guys haven't already, make sure you subscribe and turn on notifications and give the video a thumbs up if you like the content, as it helps me out greatly. But that's going to do it for us. We'll catch you guys next time. Peace.